The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. I'm your host, Crispin Valentin, and today we have another great episode. So this one is going to be a little bit different, but before that, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification. You already know the business. We appreciate it very much, helping us grow the channel. Thank you. Thank you so very much. We truly do mean it. And I hope that you are enjoying. And if you are enjoying the content, then please give it a like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Are you enjoying it or not? I would take suggestions if you need us to do different things. I think I know what I need to do as far, but constructive criticism is awesome as far as making better and better content. So let us know. I'd be more than happy to do that. And again, subscribe. Thank you for the ones that are. Thank you very much. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different episode. Reason being is because I think it's super important to talk about this matter. The reason why is it affects all of us. It's not just a Latino thing. It's a world thing, right? And why is it a world thing? Because today I want to talk a little bit about there's a safe soil movement that's going on. You probably seen it on social media, but in general, the ground is going through some stuff. So we need to take actions, whether it's by planting a tree or planting some crops or different things like that, because it really is necessary at this time to do something about it. I really feel that if we don't take part of trying to do something or attempting or actually doing something, that we are not going to leave the generations to come something, and it's not going to be very pretty at all whatsoever. Okay, so the soil, earth ground, is in danger and it needs our help. Most of us are not really aware, but we must bring awareness that the time is now to help the soil and to leave something for our children so they can have a planet so they can grow some food. Why? Because there's a lot of erosion. What is erosion? Erosion is when the soil becomes dirt. Yes. So there is a Netflix documentary that I recommend you check out. It's called Kiss the Ground. And in there, it explains a lot more detail of what really happens, the science behind it. They bring experts. So remember the Dust Bowl back in 1930? Well, we caused 200 million acres of permanent damage soil that you cannot grow anything on. Okay, so there is a website that you can also go to further educate yourself. You really want to take part and really dive in depth and help you, like, as far as a resource to look. And that's the Natural Resources Conservation Service, which is the website www.nrcs.usd.gov. That's the U.S. Department of Agriculture. You can look into the website, get different information that they have as far as how to help, how to do as far as planting, how to prevent erosion and safer ways to do instead of doing the things that we're doing. So to my understanding, we've been plowing a lot of the soil. When we do that, whenever we're growing crops, we leave the soil exposed to the sun, and that is not very helpful because the sun does burn. If you notice now, even stronger now than before, the soil, the sun is it's necessary. Of course, we do need it, but it go hand in hand as far as having shade and having different vegetation, so the ground can be like it be healthy and not being kind of almost like sunburnt because it's totally exposed when there's plowing. And that's the reason why we want to. And again, being part of the global Latin factor, global, it affects every single one of us. It doesn't matter that the fact that if we don't have enough soil and if we don't take any part, whether it's again planting the tree or doing different things, that we are maybe not see it in our lifetime, but rest assured that logically speaking, you know that this is going to affect our children, or if you already have children, it's going to affect your children. Like, if you really do care for your children, if you really want them to have something, if you don't really don't want them to go through some famine and different things like that, because honestly, where are they going to grow food if it's not from the dirt, like from the actual soil itself? You know what I mean? So carbon dioxide is a gas that actually is the plants breathe in, And apologize. Carbon dioxide is a gas where it goes out and the plants breathe it in, and all that carbon dioxide is not really necessarily bad itself because it's needed from trees to breathe, and some of those nutrients get put back into the soil itself. That's why again it's necessary not to plow and have vegetation so it can literally recycle. It's like a big recycling, and that's what happens. Okay, so you make like I'm not just saying it just because it's just only me. I know you've seen it on all social media, and it's like, oh, there here it goes again, blah 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 blah. I don't need any meat. I'm not trying to get you in that direction. I'm not saying I'm doing my part just by that. I know I need to do more proactively for me, but something is something at the end of the day. So even if you begin to post something about it or inform yourself about it, and then it's super important, right? So I would encourage every single one of you to take some action in looking into what can you do to make it better as far as the soil. There is a website, or just Google some things to know what else can you do. Soil is a whole universe in itself. A tablespoon of soil holds a whole universe. Over 2 million microbes can live there, it's said. So even though we might not see it in dirt, like it literally is a bunch of different things that are very essential to everything that we do. And our health and the health of our planet is literally in everything that we have, even though we take it for granted because we don't really consider, we don't really think about it whenever we are eating out and about. But all that is part of what goes into our plate. Like that had to play part in order for us to have a meal and grow crops and vegetables, or even like raise cattle. And those things, all that are all combined and all part of a big cycle that we use. Now, we can see the effects now as far as the quality of food. Think about it. Like there's a reason why people overeat is because they're not getting the nutrients that they used to get back in the days from food, especially with junk food nowadays. So back in the days, so there's a gentleman that I follow that he was giving an example that like back in the days, one orange, the nutrition of one orange compared to now, you need about 8 oranges to get somewhat of the same nutrients, but that's just part of the damaged soil because all the nutrients and all the stuff that's in the soil that helps the crop become a better fruit or have all the nutrients, all that is part of it, right? But we've been messing the soil so much that even some of the nutrients, even though we are growing the crops and they're coming out, even though we try to now, whether we want it or not, we kind of sort of genetically have to modify some of the vegetables to be able to even have a vegetable or a fruit. Then all those things now don't have the nutrients that they used to have back in the days. So that is just logically, and that's all you can see it in everywhere. There's a reason why here in the States there's a obesity problem for the same reason that we overeat. But I feel like we don't just overeat just to overeat. It's because our body knows that we just need to consume more to get even the smallest nutrient possible to keep us alive. And of course, some of those stuff is junk and we just retain it. And I feel like that's part of the reason why we're leading that charge in the US. And it's a world movement. It's not just us. It's a world movement as far as bringing awareness to soil and being able to leave something for the next generation. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, tilling, as far as when you leave the land exposed, the sun, and the ozone layer burns through that, and it's essential for us to have that because we need it for us to be able to have healthy soil so we can have plants, vegetation, and different things like that. So understand that all that just is all part of one giant universe and all connected because we feel it, right? We feel it in ourselves whenever whenever somebody's just talking about it, like, oh my goodness, I'm tired of hearing it, this and that. Okay, well, that's understandable. I feel you. I get it. But if we don't talk about it, then it's just gonna go in deaf ears and nothing's gonna happen. And if nothing happens, then your children's children or your children might have major problems, huge problems that they're not able to even grow their own food. Like, think about it. We are starting to grow stuff from the lab, but I don't think that's moving fast enough for us to somewhat still stay alive. So for the meantime, we need to do something about it. Again, plant some trees, get informed as far as what you're able to do, and do something. A single teaspoon, that's 1 gram of rich garden soil, can hold up to 1 billion bacteria, several yards of fungal filament, several thousand protozoans, and a score of different things, says Kathy Manfield. That is a retired neo, I can't even say that word, nematologist of Oregon State University, who unfortunately passed away in 2016. But she was already like doing some of that work as far as thinking about the things that we needed to do and researching the soil. They're devoted the entire lives into soil to finding out different things, so we can now look at it and be like, you know what, that is something that we need. Okay. So on the same documentary that I seen, Kristen Nichols, chief scientist of Road Institute, in every handful of healthy soil, there are more organisms that ever lived on planet Earth. So even though it just seems like dirt, it's not really what that is, especially when we need it to grow our food. And the fact that it's not even the same type of quality of soil that we are having, because I'll be like, what do you mean quality? It's just dirt. No, it's not just dirt. It's different things and components that go into it. If it's leaf exposed, as I mentioned, the ozone layer and the sun will burn it, and it's not as healthy as it was. And if not, we're not rotating the soil as far as what we're growing. If we're not leaving different vegetation, there's different strategies as far as like being able to rotate the soil, or maybe planting different type of trees that grow it in your area that produce some kind of fruit or some kind of vegetables or different things like that. That's all doable. But we need every single one of you. Even though I understand that my platform is not as big as I would like to one day, I hope that the video gets big enough that it can carry a message that in 2022 is very essential for us to now take action for our future generations. So if you don't have any kids, just understand that it will affect your kids if we don't do anything now. If you have kids, understand that it's now going to affect them if we don't take any decisions. Now, I know you're trying to protect your family and your kids and everybody in your family as much as possible, but a lot of the times the immediate things that are in danger. But believe me, this is something very dangerous that we are playing with in our planet, that if we don't do something right now. So again, I'm not telling you what to do, but I know that deep inside of you, because everything is like a big connection of different things, and I don't really fully understand it, but you know that we need to do something now, because it's going to be necessary, because I can't even do the podcast if I don't have a planet. So help us out. Just become aware. I wanted to relay this message. I felt that it's important based on the fact that we're on planet Earth, and it's a global thing that I can touch on different people. So please inform yourself, do something about it, become aware. Whatever your heart desires to try to do something, at least do something towards that movement, so we can have a planet, something for your kids, that we can grow food, not anything crazier, but literally grow food still and be able to maintain. Think about it. We might be able to go with food for, what is it, 5 days, 7 days, but then after that, then the water starts. All that is connected. So take some action today. So this was a different episode, but I really felt like it was necessary to talk about it. I've been, getting ready for different things like that. I merely touched like a little space of the things that other people are putting out there. So, go find different things like that and find out what can you do. Again, I think growing, like planting a tree and different things like that, is the smaller steps. But if you want to take it into a bigger scale, if something in your heart really speaks to you that you want to do that, then go ahead. Please do so. We need it. We really need it. And that's going to be the episode for today. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're really enjoying the content. This is the Global Latin Factor, but soil is part of the Global Latin Factor, because we really need to be aware that it is a thing that we need all of us to be aware. Okay, so subscribe to the channel, comment, let us know where you're hearing us from. We appreciate it very much. And remember, we are just like you. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Until next time.